Chad Moyer with you on the Rural Radio Network. There was a field day that was held near Mead, Nebraska, hosted by Greenfield Robotics, talking about the botany robots, an opportunity to see them in action. Here to tell us about that, Clint Brauer. He is founder, CIO, Chief Innovation Officer with Greenfield Robotics. And Clint, thanks for visiting with us. First of all, a little bit of background about you and what kind of brought you to the precision agriculture game.
Yeah, so I started out, I was in tech for 13 years in LA. I grew up in Kansas, farm. And basically my dad got Parkinson's. And so I came back and decided over time to see if I could get chemicals out of ag because I thought it was from chemicals, too much exposure. He was an early no-till farmer. Mm-hmm. And so that one thing led to another. I tried to grow 10 years that way, the hard way. And I just realized the tool set wasn't good enough. And it was too hard to do no-till organic per se. And so eventually landed at Greenfield Robotics, and we build robots that make that actually scale and work. So.
All right, well, so let's start there. Tell me about these robots, if you can kind of paint a picture, because we've seen different precision ag and different robots be introduced into the market. Describe what are your machines?
Well, I just had someone give me a picture of Wall-E and said they reminded her of that. So I think it's something like that. But look, they're small. We're the antithesis of what we've been seeing in ag for the last, since I've been around. And so they're small machines. They go between the rows, the current ones. And they cut the weeds between the rows, and now they can foliar feed the crop at night. And so they're small. They're little yellow bots, and we can put up to, who knows how many, 13 we know for sure, work just fine on a field at once. And no one's there. We're in 6 states this year, and we're keeping an eye on them from Kansas. So
pretty amazing story so far. I guess, where are you at right now? Where do you see this technology going, would you say?
Well, I mean, our mission is to get chemicals out of ag, and we believe we know how to do it now. And so certainly targeting herbicides first. And so we're excited about that. And so, now it's just starting to grow and scale. And work with farmers. Look, it's not an overnight deal. Farming's not overnight. Herbicides aren't going to go away, disappear tomorrow. Cultivation's not going to disappear tomorrow. But we think we have something over time that can really kind of change things for farmers and for people to eat food to kind of understand how things are grown. Yep.
So we've talked a lot of mechanics so far. I'm going to ask you a farmer and agronomy question. Yeah. How has this changed how the crop grows? You know what I mean? Has that changed what actually happens in the field, do you think?
Yeah, so we take all our cues from, no chemicals but regenerative growing, right? And so when I'm designing systems with our engineers, everything is about trying to keep a living root in the soil as much as possible without to the detriment of the crop you're trying to grow. Everything's about not putting something on there that basically could be a negative for the soil health. And so it's really about building a crop that's resilient, right? And so we're in south central Kansas, which is been in drought for 3 years straight, and we're finally, now it's raining all the time, won't stop. But it's the Midwest. But we don't, and we get pretty hot and we stay warm, and so water's a big deal. And so we think about that a lot there. But actually, as it turns out, in a lot of cases with cover crops, which is kind of central to what we do as well, what we work with is transpiration is lower than evaporation until you reach a certain point. And so evaporation from bare soil. And so we try to factor all these things in and what the bots do. At the end of the day, a farmer can use it the way they want it. But this is the way we think about it. How do we build a regenerative system where you're not taking a yield ding, that you're, in a bad year you have a crop, and in a good year you have a very good crop?
We're here near Mead at an organic farm. So organic situations, it seems like this would be a good place to use it. What other scenarios could you see a bot like this being of high value?
This is the first year we ran on organic, and so we're running in 6 states, and most of them are not organic. And so we designed this thing to be cost competitive in what my dad did, which was conventional. And so there actually is no situation. I think the one thing that they won't work on is root crops. We have nothing for carrots and onions and that kind of thing. Sure. And we're not really working in orchards today. We have tested. We possibly could. We're not working in vineyards. We certainly could, but we're not. But anything that's growing in a 30-inch row or more, we're there, and it works. And so that's the good thing.
All right, so they're called Botany Robots. Greenfield Robotics is the company. If folks want to reach out, find out more, how can they do that?
Yeah, and by the way, Botany, we trademarked that. That is, my dad's name was Tony.
Okay.
And so we use plants to do things the right way in honor of him. And so that's kind of how this whole thing started. So the way to reach out is greenfieldrobotics.com. Shoot us a note, and we'll have someone get to you almost immediately.
Clint, it's good to talk to you. Thank you for the insights.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Again, we've been visiting with Clint Brauer. He is founder, CIO of Greenfield Robotics. They put on a field day again near Mead, Nebraska here recently, showcasing these botany robots. Very, very interesting. Here on the Rural Radio Network, Chad Moyer reporting.